Ladies and gentlemen, it's very clear that Donald Trump is telling stories and lies again, and Iran is not falling for it. And unfortunately, the whole world is, especially Wall Street. Please watch on and see whether you are one of the few that fall for it as well. It's very clear that Donald Trump has issued more lies, more storytelling, and Iran basically is telling him, FO, okay, I'm not falling for it. But surprisingly, the whole Wall Street is falling for it. And this also include those in the energy market. Now, I think it's important that we see through some of this smoke before you fall prey to uh, one of these lies that could hurt you financially. Now, when Trump says, we are now having talks, which is what's happening right now, and the Iranians wants to talk to us, we've issued more talks, we are making some progress whatsoever. Meanwhile, Pentagon is sending more troops over, and there is no negotiations with good faith will be conducted this way. So right now, the American military is sending more troops, a few thousand more troops into the region, and it's very clear a very strong military buildup is happening for a ground offensive. Now, so Donald Trump has came out and saying that, oh, we are in negotiation right now. The Iranians wants to make a deal. And basically, I've told them again and again that we no nuclear weapons, no nuclear weapons, no nuclear weapons. But the funny thing is, the Iranians has always said, whether you believe them or not, I have no desire to have a nuclear weapon. I have no desire to have a nuclear weapon. I don't have a nuclear weapon. So basically, both sides don't trust each other. But however, right now this military campaign is progressing to a state where clearly Trump, has lost the upper hand, and he wants to end this fiasco as soon as possible. So he claimed that, oh, my military force have coerced the Iranians that they now broke their will to fight on and things like that. But if you hear from the Iranians, which I watch a lot of their news as well, and I of course watch the West, I watch the Chinese, watch the Indians, I watch everybody's news. Very clear that the only body that is smoking weed is Donald Trump and Wall Street. Meanwhile, as all these are happening, the 82 Airborne Division are deploying more troops. 3 to 4,000 more troops are adding on to the already accumulating number of troops in the region. So the total is a very big number right now, plus troops that are near the region. It could amount up to close to 10 over 1,000 active troops that can engage in combat, plus support troops and all this, basically, easily up to 50,000 troops. This must be very clear to Iran that Washington is not stepping back. They are building up leverage and they are prepared to strike. So how Tehran is reading this right now, as I watch all their news and their reports and things like that, they can see through this, right? Even I can see through this. They can see through this, and basically they know this really as a distraction and a stalling mechanism to buy time for them. This is a political cover for military staging, and basically they have got zero trust for the Americans. Two times they've been in negotiation with US. While in the negotiation they get struck. So basically they said, no, we're not falling for a third time. We can be stupid once, stupid twice. We're not going to be stupid for the third time. So nobody in Iran is listening and trusting what Donald Trump is saying. They're just watching what is happening right now on the ground. So inside Iran, everybody views the negotiation claims very negatively. So there's a Professor Elham Kad from University of Tehran. He came up with an interview which I thought was quite interesting. He says that basically internally everybody attitude towards the US is completely negative. Nobody trusts the US. So everyone alike, whether you hate the government in Iran, not all view this as a threat and not an opportunity. This is a clear and present danger, and they are not falling for it. So they don't believe in diplomacy anymore. At least the American style diplomacy is complete rubbish. So they view that only through a show of might can you produce durable guarantees of results? So some from negotiating terms that they've been issued, they basically, I think, throw them right into the basket, and they are now looking at realities on the ground. They choked the Straits of Hormuz, and the world came to a standstill. They continue to strike critical infrastructure across multiple countries in the Gulf, the GCC countries, and they're crying murder right now. And Donald Trump is now actually in trouble. So they know that this has strong leverage, and they will basically continue to do this, and they are continuing to do this and getting more leverage out of the Americans. So it is very clear to the Iranians, my military force produced result. How do they know? Look at Donald Trump. Now he's choked. The oil prices going up. You know what he does? He basically say, okay, Iranian oil, I can let your deal, I can let your trade. The sanction is over. By looking at that, they realize, oh, military might produce results by choking the Straits of Hormuz, okay, and taking pain. Yes, they are taking a lot of pain. They basically bring the Americans to the negotiation table at their knees. So they will continue to do that, and that's what the all the interviews, all the news report are all leaning towards that. So everyone knows that the outcome must be one that is a lasting results that's positive for Iran. And by the way, this is also what the GCC countries, Saudi, Kuwait, and UAE and Qatar, all afraid of. If the Americans cave in and give in, basically the Iranians will control the Straits of Hormuz, and the bargaining power is now different. So the Iranians basically is coming out with a pressure strategy. They elevate the oil prices. They make the things unbearable. They take on a lot of pain, yes, but basically you want to say that if you want to hit us, we will make the cost for you unbearable. That's what they do. So meanwhile, they continue to strike the Kuwait airport fuel tanks, and the Qatar LNG facilities is 17% down. Yesterday, I have a privilege of have a conversation with a oil expert who's in the oil and gas industry. He basically said that right now, even if peace is restored, the channel is cleared, there could be a chance that right now supply is permanently being damaged, okay, and will take many years to rebuild. So the Iranians know that, and they are continuing to strike. Now, it is very clear also to the Iranians that Washington is now talking, BSing, meanwhile escalating at the same time. So it's very clear that this is a pre-invasion camouflage. Pre-invasion camouflage, so they are not falling for it. So meanwhile, the costs of the war continue to spread. Kuwait, as I said just now, the airport fuel tank is being hit, radar system is being hit, and they have now hit critical logistic infrastructure. Saudi Arabia has been taking on a lot of hits as well. They are intercepting a lot of drones, and Lebanon and Iraq are also getting involved as well. So a lot of the countries are rethinking, well, I thought that bringing the Americans in actually protect us, but for the first time they came to a realization that bring the Americans in make them magnets for missiles and rockets and drones. So the US objective and the Iranians objective are very different. To be frank, nobody knows what the US objective is right now. Okay, I know for sure what Trump's objective is at this point of time. Get the hell out of this mess. Okay, that's the objective. It's very clear until cannot clear. And if Wall Street cannot see that, then I must say that Wall Street is Wall Street is smoking weed. But clearly they just want to get out of this place. But the Iranians are very clear. I want sanctions to be lifted. Okay, I want Americans out of this place. Okay, there's verbal guarantee, contractual guarantee is no guarantee. The the Russian attack on Ukraine taught the world that, and clearly, the current situation in the Middle East is also another lesson. verbal contractual guarantee is no guarantee. So in the world of military, the only way is get the hell out of my area. So he wants them to feel. So they want to inflict more pain, and they'll take on pain to make sure that happens. The Iranians can take pain. The Americans cannot afford pain. So what happened next? Well, genuine talks to leading to a breakthrough peace negotiation. I think this thing is called TKK. You know what's TKK? TKK in Hokkien is called Tan Kuku, wait long long. Okay, I don't think will happen, man. But the whole Wall Street is believing in it, right? Whole Wall Street is believing in it. Oh, oil prices is coming down. Stock market is marginally going up and things like that. It looks like a lot of people willing to believe in this, and that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that careful not to fall for these rules. Okay, the the upside from making some of these bets are not very high, but the downside is very high. So you gotta be very careful. Just exercise some judgment on this. And if you miscalculate, just as many people are miscalculating, and there's a sudden escalation, that could turn out a very different outcome. So now, what is very clear right now is that Iranians are not falling for it, and they may even tighten some of their controls over the straits. So I think we just gotta be careful not to fall for Trump's BS. Now, this is a very interesting question. Someone asked me, okay, if the Iranians are not falling for it, and Trump knows that Trump is not stupid, right? Okay. Trump knows that the Iranian will not fall for it because he's telling lies that Iranians are saying that Iranians are talking to them, and Iranians say, no, I never talked. So who's Trump's audience? Who's Trump telling the story to? Well, Trump is telling mainly to this group of people. Number one, the Americans. Telling Americans, we are negotiating peace so as to manage emotions because the support for this war is very low. To all the US allies, he's telling them, okay, well, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Europe, energy, but everybody, we are negotiating. Don't worry, over time things will be okay, right? So trying to settle buy some time. And by the way, this lead to the more important people, which is the global market, by basically saying that we are talking, peace could be coming. What will happen? Oil prices straight away came down. Okay, oil prices straight away came down. Straight away come down by maybe $5 to $10 a barrel and things like that. So that it works. And the stock market start to climb a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. So he basically calms the whole world down with his stories and lies and things like that. And it work, right? It works. So of course, he's also trying to tell Pentagon that so that Pentagon can approve some of his requests for military. He say, at least I tried. At least I tried diplomacy. So I think this is where these are coming from. Now, let me just say this: while Trump is preparing to sell some of his stories, okay, but to the Iranians, from all the reports that I read, they are not falling for it at all. They know that US is strategically deceptive, and they must shape the events and the future through force and leverage, and there's no giving in. So with this, I think things are happening very real time in a very interesting way. Please remember, hit subscribe and hit like, and that will go a lot in getting real updates in time. And I think potentially some big events might happen in a matter of hours or even days. So let's watch on, shall we? I'll catch up with you guys in the live stream tonight. Bye bye.